Hey, John from Mighty here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you could take this begin button that sits at the top of your Rise course and move that down below all this information that you've put right here on the cover page, or also if you've got the table of contents turned on, being able to move it below the table of contents as well. There is a fast, easy way to do this with the Mighty extension, but let's first show you how to manually go about doing this. So step number one is we're going to go ahead and publish our course. And once we get our published zip, we're going to go ahead and open up that zip file. So let's go ahead and open that up. And then inside of this content folder is all of the assets that you would use to upload to wherever you're hosting this to. And if this is your LMS, your file structure will look slightly different, but ultimately you're going to look for this content folder and you've got this index HTML file that has your actual course and your Rise information. So step number one is linked into the description is a JavaScript file. And in that JavaScript file, it has all of the code that you would use to move your begin button. So let's look at that real quick just to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. So right at the top of this JavaScript file, we've got a determination on where we're going to put this button. It's either going to go above the table of contents or below the table of contents. And then from there, we create this thing called a mutation observer, which is actually going to look at all of your elements on the page. And as they get created, we're going to specifically look for a cover page. And therefore, when that cover page is rendered, we would go about moving our begin button. And this allows us to basically move all the way through a lesson and then go back to the beginning of the cover page. And it will automatically readjust your button before really it renders on the view there. And then we actually get into our function itself where we need to create some styling to hide our original begin button. And then we go through and grab that begin button. And then based on the type of theme that you have, we will decide some margin just to make it look a little bit better. Otherwise, if we just move it, there's some weird margin stuff that happens based on the two different themes. Or three different themes that are here. And then ultimately we just end up putting that back into the HTML. So what we'll do with this JavaScript file is we are going to take that file itself and we're going to move it into the folder structure here. And really you could move it anywhere, but I'm just going to move it right into the same level as this index.html file. And then we're going to open up that HTML file in a rich text editor. As we were looking at here, I'm using this application called VS Code. And what we need to do is at the bottom of this page here, before this body tag ends, we're going to create a script tag. And this script tag is going to pull in our new JavaScript that we just added. So this will be of type text JavaScript. And then the source for this is our same location of where we're at now. And then it's the move begin button.js file. So once we save that and we looked back here, this is going to move it above the table of contents. So now let's go ahead and load the index.html file. And now you'll see the begin button is no longer up top. And it is right down here below all of this text or above where the table of contents would sit. We can drill into our lesson, do all the lesson related things, go back to our home page and see that the begin button is not up here, but instead down here. So this is really awesome. The JavaScript is all ready for you just to basically put it above or below. Super easy to use. I just basically pulled this out of what we do in Mighty today. But let's talk about how you would go about doing this in Mighty. So let's go back into Rise. I'm going to enable the Mighty Chrome extension. We will reload the page. And then if you go into the theme section, under theme, there is the begin button options. And this actually allows you to do the same thing, but it's all managed right here in Rise for you. And when you publish your course, it will actually have all that JavaScript ready for you, and our team will continue to maintain that as themes change and whatnot. So as you'll see above the table of contents, we move it here. Below table of contents obviously doesn't really change much because there is no table of contents visible, but maybe I'll turn that on in just a second. You could also change the position of it. You could make it full width. And then this also has other fun stylistic things that you could do. Maybe we want to change this so there is no border radius and the button color itself becomes white, and we turn on a border and make that black, and then our text color, we will change that from white to black. So then you can get kind of like a different style here. You could move that back up to like the default position. You can kind of play around with different ways that you can have your begin button. But basically, fun different ways that you can do this right here, built into Rise using the Mighty Chrome extension. And that is it. Simple to use. Has all the code basically built in. And then as soon as you go to publish your course, you'll see a slightly different screen. We're going to do this one as an LMS. And then this will give you different types of files. You'll also see this different publish screen as we publish this slightly differently. You can also put these into review, and in review, it'll look just like you've got it built here. And when we open up this new version of the zip, you'll see that there's a couple extra files inside the SCORM content folder. This index.html file is what we would have modified earlier. We've got all of our Mighty files, and all we'll do is we'll open this up, and you see all of your JavaScript is applied automatically, and you've got the begin button here. So that's it. Simple to use Mighty to get that up and running, but there is the manual JavaScript option and all of the code that you could use if you do not want to use Mighty. Thanks.